Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Gil with Keller Williams. I hope you're having a wonderful day today. And I wanted to go ahead and take a minute and deliver to you 2020 real estate market update. So it's January 2020. It's a new year, and what can you expect in real estate for the upcoming year? So I want to make sure we walk you through this. That way you can make better informed decisions regarding real estate for you and your family. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to hit me up. But again, let's get into it. I hope you like it. Bye. All right, everybody, so let's get into this. So in 2019, last quarter, it was almost an imminent recession, for 2020 that we were looking to head into, but things have changed. So let's take a look at Goldman Sachs 2020 U.S. Outlook. So markets sounded the recession alarm this year, and the average forecaster now sees a 33% chance of recession over the next year. So this is from 2019 towards the end of it. In contrast, our new recession model suggests just a 20% probability, so a 1 in 5 chance of a recession. Despite the record age of expansion, the usual late cycle problems, inflationary overheating, and financial imbalances do not look threatening. And a big part of that is the U.S. housing market. So if we continue on, we look at senior economist at Realtor.com, George Ratu. He states that housing remains a solid foundation for the U.S. economy going into 2020. And he's not the only one. If we look at NAR, the National Association of Realtors, Mortgage Bankers Association, as well as Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they all project home sales in 2020 to be more than they were in 2019. So that's all a positive outlook. And a part of that has to do with interest rates. Interest rates are fantastic, and we'll get into that. But the housing market, the strength of the housing market is also supporting the economy, and which is looking like the recession that they saw for 2020 is looking to be more likely 2021 later in the year. Okay, so let's get into interest rates over 2020. So according to Freddie Mac, we expect mortgage rates to remain low over the next 2 years, averaging just 3.8% in 2020 and 2021. And it's not just Freddie Mac, it's also Fannie Mae, the Mortgage Bankers Association, as well as the National Association of Realtors. All of them have projected interest rates to remain low, roughly about 3.8%. As we can see from the graph, there's the 30-year mortgage rate is projected to remain stable through 2020. So although interest rates aren't going to be the one that are hindering buyers out there, the biggest hurdle that we foresee for 2020 for buyers is inventory shortage. That's going to be the biggest obstacle for the housing market, is just a lack of inventory out there to satisfy the demand of the buyers. So Realtor.com further backs this up, stating that in 2020, we expect inventory to struggle to grow and could instead reach a historic low level. And so one of the things that we know is that a typical inventory for housing is 6 months, and as of today, the inventory for housing is sitting at about 3.7 months. So we're definitely short on that. And one of the things that's helping is the construction of new homes. So according to Doug Duncan, who's the chief economist of Fannie Mae, he states that we now expect single-family housing starts and sales of new homes to increase substantially, aiding by a large uptick in new construction builders' work to replenish inventories drawn down by the recent surge in new home sales activities. So although we see a increase in new constructions homes being built this year to help the housing shortage, and every market is different, so your local market there may not be as much new construction going on, but even in consideration of that, there are a number of buyers out there which is still causing that shortage to remain in place. So let's look at Realtor.com senior economist George Ratu. He goes on to state, despite improvements to new construction and short waves of sellers, next year, so 2020, again will fail to bring a solution to the inventory shortage. And one of the big reasons behind that is because millennials are out there. Millennials are out there purchasing properties. He goes on to further state, as millennials embrace home ownership and take advantage of this year's unexpectedly low mortgage rates, demand is outstripping supply, causing inventory to vanish. The issue is further compounded by the fact that sellers tend to be more reluctant to list during the colder time of the year, so December-ish, January, when the market typically makes a seasonal slowdown. Now, as shoppers modify their strategy, so buyers are out there, they're changing the way that they purchase. They're actually purchasing sooner than they have been. So he goes on to state, as shoppers modify their strategies for navigating a housing market that has become more competitive due to rising prices and low inventory, the search for a home is beginning earlier and earlier every year. With housing inventory across the U.S. expected to reach a record low in 2020, we expect to see this trend continue into the new year, into 2020, which in this case it is. Housing inventory is extremely low. So if we look at move.com reported that people have begun their home search earlier and earlier every year since 2015. If we look at last year in January 2019, it fell just 1% behind February. So February should have been, more buyers out there in the market, but actually 2009 in January, it was just fell 1% behind February, with the highest number of views per listing. And in 20% of the largest markets, January actually outperformed February for listings viewed. So what does that mean to you sellers out there? Sellers that are waiting, I want to wait until the hot market. The hot market is right now. And the reason being is because buyers are trying to be more competitive. They understand they may not be able to wait, and so they are looking now for their home. So if you're considering selling, waiting until then may not be the right time. Right now, there are buyers out there who want your home. Okay, so for those of you who are seriously thinking about purchasing a home today, or you're a current homeowner, what's the outlook for you in terms of valuation, in terms of appreciation of your property? So if we take a look at Frank Martell, he's the president and CEO of CoreLogic. So there's a quote from him. We expect home prices to rise at least another 5% over the next 12 months. And CoreLogic isn't the other one. So if we take a look at some of the other data providers, Fannie Mae, the Zellman's report, NAR, Freddie Mac, and the Mortgage Bankers Association. So anywhere from 5.4%, 2.8%, 3.1%, 3.9%, and so all of them have an expectation of home appreciation growth over 2020. And so if we take a look at also the home price expectation survey, so this is a survey that you take a look at. It's 100 economists, market analysts, and real estate experts. What do they project the mean appreciation to drop and also or increase over the next 5 years? So what they see is in 2020 we're going to see about a 2.8% increase in home appreciation. That's going to drop to about 2.3% next year, and then it's going to slowly increase and rebound in 2024. They have it at 3.4% home appreciation. So what does all that mean in dollars? So if you're a buyer and you're out there and you're actively shopping and you're going to buy today, right? What can you expect? What does that mean to you? So if you bought today, if you bought a home for $250,000 in January 2020, over the next 5 years, in 2025, your home roughly would be worth, and this is according to the survey, right? This is according to the survey, though, based on those numbers. Your home is roughly going to be worth $297,500. So what does that mean? That's a $47,000 increase in equity. That's a appreciation of $47,000. That is growth. That is family net worth growth over the course of 5 years if you're deciding to buy today. Now, of course, if you're a renter, you don't see any of that growth, right? So I'm encouraging you to take a look and consider buying while rates are low and with the expectation that homes are going to appreciate over the next 5 years. And so if we take a look at just the last 12 months for the United States in terms of home equity growth or home equity in general, we see that 44 states saw an increase in equity. As 44 out of the 50 states saw an increase in equity. One state saw a decrease, and the other ones you can see in gray, those we don't have the data for. But so what's the story? You should consider purchasing a home today while rates are low, while we expect the homes to appreciate over the next 5 years. What does all this mean? Well, it's 2020. What should have been on your New Year's resolution list is to buy a new house. And it's not just first-time home buyers, people that haven't bought a home. It's also for you owners who currently own right now and are looking to take advantage and want to buy your forever home. And so if we take a look at First American chief economist Mark Fleming, he goes on to state that as homeowners gain equity in their homes, they are more likely to consider using that equity to purchase a larger or more attractive home. And the proof is in the numbers. So if we took a look at the report by NAR, the National Association of Realtors, it shows exactly that. So there's 3 age groups: 18 to 34, 35 to 44, and 45 to 54. All of them have sold their home, and they are repurchasing properties that are more than what their home was sold for. And so people are stepping up. They're buying their forever home for more space, a more attractive home. And so if you have questions on that, let me know. But this is your 2020 real estate market forecast. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me. Everybody have a great 2020. Looking forward to real estate with you all, and talk to you soon.